Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, number 191. It's Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Central here in the United States, and I am Virtue, the moderator, being joined by this week's elite panel of NoDQ. Of course, Aaron Rift, the boss. Big G, happy to be here, the Pittsburgh Steelers fan. San is back. Mr. Goshiku, I know I always butcher your name, but that I have the right to do that. Welcome back. I like when you're on. I love when you're on. And making his debut, Jose Garza. What's up, Jose? Welcome to the NoDQ Review.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me tonight, guys. I am looking forward to hitting these topics with you, with the chat. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be a blast, as always. We have three huge topics we're going to be talking about. And yes, AEW is one of them because their world champion is injured. Son, what's up?
I am ready to talk about what's been going on in wrestling. Been a while. And per my usual introduction, hey everybody, Son Goshiwaku here. And man, WWE showing how they can do so much with that money financially, keeping Roman Reigns off of TV for almost what feels like 2 months. Wow, what about the times we live in here?
Dude, I know, I'm getting bored, man. Like, I need him to come back, and it's kind of heartbreaking here. Big G, what's up?
Not much, doing pretty good. Like I always say, let's get this ball rolling, baby.
All right, that was short and sweet. And, of course, over to Aaron Rift. But first, I got to give a shout-out to Colin the Cleaver Andrew. He's working tonight. I don't know if he'll be in the chat or not, but I always give him a shout-out. And I think Aaron's going to give some hype up for a certain somebody at some point tonight. What's up, Aaron?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy to have Son back with us once again, and happy to have Jose on for the very first time. Got some new blood in the mix tonight. It'll be an interesting discussion. And I do want to give a shout out to Walter Cruz, who has been a regular in the chat room, and he's even been on the review several times now. He sent in $2 and says, "Say yes to NoDQ." Appreciate that very much, Walter, and he'll be in the chat room. Oh, Mr. Tito's here also. Mr. Tito, hey, Virtue. Mr. Tito, in case you guys missed it, he came back to NoDQ several days ago with a brand new column. Virtue, did you see that column?
I've been busy with work this week, so I did not. Did you do your whole thing where you share it and post it? And
Yep. You have to check it out then.
He's just saying it's probably because of the injuries. Remember, he did some article 6 weeks ago and said it was a one-time deal. So he's got to keep his feet in the water.
Right. He sent in a $2 super chat. He says, Aaron equals Scrooge McDuck with so much wrestling news. Yeah, especially when somebody goes on television and cuts a work shoot promo. That keeps me in pretty good shape for a while as far as the website traffic goes. And anytime somebody goes on Twitter and says something stupid, that also helps too. Oh, and Oofman Entertainment is here. He sent in $2. Thank you for that. Says, let's go Rangers. That's a hockey team, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Or does he mean the Rescue Rangers, Chip and Dale? I don't know.
He might.
Texas Rangers?
Yeah, Texas Rangers.
Texas
It's baseball
Rangers.
season.
Yeah.
All right.
Ready for the topics?
Let's do
Topic
it.
number 1. Your reigning and defending AEW World Champion CM Punk is hurt. He is injured, ankle, foot, whatever it may be. Seems like he's going to be out of action for a while. But he's not relinquishing the title, at least according to Tony Khan. He's going to remain AEW World Champion while he's on the shelf. They're going to crown an interim AEW World Champion. It's kind of convoluted. We're going to talk about who it probably will be because down the road when Punk's healthy, those two are going to face each other for the undisputed AEW World Championship. And are they going to hold both titles up like Roman Reigns gets to do in WWE? That'll be interesting. But, Jose, I'm going to come over to you first. So basically, and here's the deal. You tell me otherwise. Any of you tell me otherwise, it's going to end up being Jon Moxley. I mean, if you see another end to all of this, please indulge me, because I think it would have to go through somebody from New Japan, and that would just look terrible for AEW's championship. So, Jose, what do you think on this whole situation and just the news in general that Punk won the title and got hurt? He's on the shelf.
Yeah, Virtue, it's extremely disappointing. You know, he's had the run that he's had, starting with Darby, feuding with MJF, possibly feud of the year, and then goes on, wins the title off who I personally think was a mid-card champion. And he goes on and is going to want to elevate the title. And unfortunately, whether it was a match, the stage dive to the crowd, he's on the shelf. Now, I agree. I think it's Jon Moxley. I just don't see how it's not going to be Jon Moxley, because he will still be around for All Out, which I'm assuming is when they're going to squash that beef. I also assume that CM Punk will later on just go ahead and take a trip to Japan and then give Hiroshi Tanahashi the match that he owed him in June, or late June, I should say, at Forbidden Door. But for overall, I mean, it's not like AEW's got a lack of roster size. They just lack the star power to really continue bringing in the casuals or the WWE fans who have yet to move on to AEW side of things.
Now, Jose, I think this is, anytime there's an injury, it opens a door or an opportunity. Now, if Jon Moxley wins it, he'll be the first two-time AEW World Champion, so there'll be a first there. But a lot of people were thinking this whole MJF angle, I'm going to keep calling it that, could lead to him beating Punk down the road, winning the title, doing what Punk did. Aaron's talked about it. We've all talked about it. Doing what Punk did in WWE. I think at some point he should be pushed as the AEW World Champion. MJF I'm talking about. But, like, doing it with this angle being so hot, like it's a shoot, it just wouldn't make any sense. So this, to me, might be good to detract MJF from the title scene, let him get all this work shoot stuff, heat over with Tony Khan, wherever it may go. And then once he's established as, no, I'm here to stay, everything worked out, then he goes strong to become an AEW World Champion. Son, what do you think here, man? The whole situation, and I just threw MJF in the mix.
Yeah, so legitimately, I've been out of the loop a little bit. Did CM Punk really injure himself doing a stage dive? I thought it was in the match. Wow. That being said, Punk's going to be out for a while. I'm cool with the interim championship thing being done. It works good in UFC, and I liked that they work it here, because I hate when they cancel a push because, oh, well, this guy's injury prone, so we're not going to put the title on him again. So that's cool to see. As far as how they're handling the whole interim championship thing, I don't know about you guys, but I felt having Wardlow come out there last night on Dynamite and say that I don't want the interim championship. I want CM Punk when he gets back, because he's the real champion. I feel like that already is AEW telling their audience that they're diminishing this interim championship as if it's a paper champion, like, oh, worry about the real champion, CM Punk. This is just a placeholder. And I'm like, that's not something I think you should be doing. And I thought MJF or Wardlow should have been in this battle royal. They could have had MJF maybe go ahead and be, what was it? Be something like dress up as some sort of wrestler, and then it's revealed, he's got the championship. He's going to take it away from Tony Khan. But here it's like they just went the safe route. They're going to choose Moxley. He's probably most likely going to be the one to win the intro championship, and they're just going to do Mox and Punk because they're two big stars from WWE. So that's probably most likely where it's going. I just wish they would have taken the approach to say, hey, MJF, Wardlow, these are two guys homegrown that we've built up. Let's make them the intro championship, and things get really interesting when CM Punk comes back.
Yeah. Tito pointed out, and remember the summer of Punk, they had that interim championship thing, and who won that? Rey Mysterio?
And then Cena.
One night only.
Cena, yeah, like.
No, for a few hours only.
Boy, Punk in his summers of, and the way these things happen. Now, granted, this was an injury, but Big G, and Wardlow, I'm glad Son mentioned Wardlow. Like, granted, there were people like, don't push him too quick. He's still learning the ropes. He could be a little green. Let him develop. Blah 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 blah. Where I personally would love to push him to the moon, have your Roman Reigns. But the fact, Son, that he said that's an interim championship, I don't want that. I want the legit thing, just so they could wait on him. That makes him look to me okay. I'm glad. I would have never thought of that, like making him, look at that as, I don't want that, which is the reason why he's not going for it. But I'm all about Wardlow in this equation. But it's just Moxley. Like, if anybody but Moxley wins this, which, again, it'd have to be someone from New Japan. When is this title match going to happen? This interim title match at the Forbidden Door?
Yeah, Forbidden Door.
If it's not John Moxley, it's going to be a New Japan wrestler. Not happening. Big, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of sucks that Punk got injured right in the beginning of his title reign, but like we said, it could have been from the match at Double or Nothing, or that stage dive that he took that Wednesday night, which he shouldn't have done in the first place. I mean, yeah, it was cool when he did it when he first came back, but you're the champ now. You got to make sure you stay healthy and you don't do anything stupid. But we don't know the actual way that he got hurt. And then Moxley being, in the main event and then going to Forbidden Door pretty much to win the title is a given. And then eventually, I'm sure at All Out, we're going to see, hopefully Punk will be back by then, see Punk versus Moxley. And then who knows who's going to, by then Tony Khan might change his mind and want Moxley to be, the champ. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, it sucks for Punk.
Big G, so Wardlow beat MJF at Double or Nothing.
Right.
Did he, correct me if I'm wrong, did he slip in the rankings?
Well, last week Wardlow was the way that
he was never in them because he wasn't part of AEW.
No, he was number one last week. And then this week, as of yesterday, Moxley was the number one contender. But the way that Tony Khan explained,
he's full of shit. It doesn't matter. Don't even bother what he explained.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. The way he explained it, though, made it so confusing.
He lets Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez determine what he should do.
Right.
Do what you think is best for your business. Like, don't. Right. I don't know. I'm just
right.
To me, you have a prime opportunity here. And Wardlow is that prime opportunity. And make your Roman Reigns.
Like I said, like Wardlow said yesterday too, everybody just mentioned, that he wants to go after the real champ and doesn't want this paper champ. Okay,
which means they should have stripped it from Punk. If he's certain he can't be here, Roman has the title in WWE. I don't know. And he's not even performing because of his contract or whatever, his part-time
Punk
schedule.
Want to relinquish the title, Aaron, and Tony Khan said he didn't have to. Is that
right?
Right. Okay. So, I mean,
Tony Khan's he's BS.
If you were the boss,
tickets right in front of him, and he can't get into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Wow.
Damn. Seriously.
You're right. Anyway, you're right, Richie. You're right.
I mean, I like John Moxley. If John, there's going to be nothing wrong with John Moxley being two-time champion and facing Punk down the road. But to me, there was so much more. And MJF, Wardlow, so many different pieces you could have moved around, and he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, the decision has been made now, so we're stuck. I don't know. Hopefully, they didn't put themselves between a rock and a hard place when Punk comes back.
All right, Aaron, over to you.
It just really sucks. Awful timing for CM Punk after just winning the AEW World Title. And there's a lot of injuries right now going on in wrestling. We'll talk about Cody Rhodes in a few minutes here, but Bryan Danielson was hurt or not available. You had Adam Cole out of action. And that battle royal on Dynamite really felt like there was a lack of star power, as Jose brought up earlier. There's just this issue where you don't have anybody that really feels like they could step in and win the interim title. There are a few guys, but they weren't in the battle royal. You have Wardlow. He obviously decided to not be in it. And you had Hangman Adam Page, who was not in it. And he just went out there and said, doesn't look like I'm going to get an opportunity at the title. So
that was so stupid.
The IWGP title instead.
That was so stupid. Really? Yeah. That reminded me of when Adam Page said that when Kofi lost the title from Lesnar and didn't chase after him,
Right. He needs to realize when these situations come about, you declare yourself. You go out there and you say, I want my rematch. So I'm challenging John Moxley. Let's make it a triple threat. Like,
Right.
In
I
other
guess
words,
like,
study
maybe
from the
that's not how it
pages
works.
of Goldberg and Brock on WWE. Just walk in, get your title shot. You guys can learn something from them.
And who would hate a
Report
Moxley's
card-
Hangman fight?
Does report card Mark not understand the review in 191 episodes? I'm the moderator. I can cut anybody off anytime I want, say what I want, when I want, and nobody can do, not even Aaron Riff, the damn thing about it. But thank you for pointing it out. And Big G, you and I, we've always had this relationship. I let you get your words in at some point.
Yeah.
But anyway, Aaron, did you have more to add to this? Yeah, injuries suck in wrestling. It just seems like, and we're going to be talking about Cody later, they're happening a lot, man. Like more than normal.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not surprised that there haven't been more because of all the crazy stunts that we see on a weekly basis from both companies, especially AEW. They're going out there doing insane spots in the ring. And
Jeff Hardy might
Speaking of
kill
which-
himself next week. So
Yeah, I'm surprised they put Jeff Hardy in a ladder match after we just got word about all these
Right?
things. Like, what are y'all trying to
Like,
do
just
to the
1
man,
week
or
rest,
what is the
1
man
week.
trying to do to himself?
it's a little scary. Like, part of me is looking forward to that match next week, but part of me is also terrified for Jeff Hardy, what he's going to try to do out there. And I just hope he comes out of it relatively unscathed.
I think Jeff
Hardy's
is
watching,
probably.
You're not in your 20s anymore. You're in your 40s.
I think while he can still move, he's just trying to get it all out of his system because he knows. I think they've said this is going to be his last run with his brother. So I think that's what he's trying to do here.
Yeah,
It's
and
his
look at
last
Kenny
run.
Omega. Look at Kenny Omega. He's been out for 8-9 months now because of all the injuries from the matches that he was doing, going out there every night doing these high impact matches, and who knows when he'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple of super chats here, so I'll get to those, and then we'll move to the next topic. Walter sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says, should they really do an interim champion, because then you have the two champions fight? Now it's an undisputed champion, and it will look like you copied WWE.
I mean, all companies have done interim champions at one point in time. So
Yeah,
like,
and I think of UFC.
Ring of Honor, Roosh got injured, and when I went to Final Battle, the last pay-per-view they had, it was Jonathan Gresham versus Jay Lethal for like quote unquote like the interim ROH World Champion, and then you had Gresham and Roosh fight at Supercard of Honor, and I think Jonathan Gresham won. So it's not like the first time we've seen, an interim champion in a company. So, you could say AEW copied WWE, Ring of Honor. Everybody's done it, so it's not the first time.
Good point.
You could argue the Money in the Bank, or when Rey Mysterio won the interim title, it wasn't supposed to be the interim title. Punk was supposed to be out that whole summer. Actually, that was supposed to be the lineal title, and then just they brought him back.
Walked back out there, and that was that.
So they really didn't have an interim title per se. I mean, if they had, it's been a very long time. This is more copying UFC. And really, you already did it with the TNT title, with the interim title. I guess you're going to have to do it for the world title.
Right.
Let's see. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, should AEW do more number one contender matches? Yeah.
That's why they have the rankings, but yeah.
I mean, they really don't honor the rankings half the time. That's the problem.
Yeah, half the time, no.
And I like it. You might as well change things up a little bit. Sometimes do a number one contenders match. Sometimes have somebody go out there and demand a title match. Like, who cares if people say it's copying WWE?
By the way, I got a question for these rankings. Do most of the matches happen off of TV? Because I was surprised to see that Marina Shafir was like number one contender. I'm like, when did this happen? I must have missed something.
That's how they
do it. They do it on Dark too. They base their rankings on like their Dark matches and Dark Elevation, and
they basically use those secondary shows to have guys rack up victories over unknowns, and that's how they build up their win-loss record. So that's how like the Gun Club becomes 15-0 because they just win a bunch of matches on Dark and Elevation.
Right? Yeah.
And as soon as they're on TV with a match, well, that's the end of their streak.
Right. There goes Marina Shafir.
Right. Yeah. I'm happy that Thunder Rosa got a title opportunity to defend her title. But yeah, I don't think anybody for a second thought that Marina Shafir was winning that title.
I had to walk away on that botch suplex. I had to. I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Oh, so Jose, I guess this question's directed at you from Psycho Jet Black. He says, "What's that belt on your wall?" You want to go ahead and let him know?
That's the current Intercontinental title right now. It's not a boxing title, but it has the AJ Styles side plates on there.
Cool.
That is the Intercontinental title?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I see it clearer.
See, that's why I said it's one of the best titles in WWE design-wise, because you get so used to just that big old logo in the middle, and then you're like, oh, yeah, they do still make titles that have some actual designs to them.
But is it really
back up now?
Is it really that good when Psycho Jet Black doesn't know what it is? He thinks it's a boxing
blurry. Well, it's hardly on TV, right? That's Shinsuke.
Oh, you know what? That's a very valid point.
Oh wait, who's the one that super chats all the time about Ricochet? Isn't it Psycho Jet Black?
Yeah, Psycho.
Yeah.
Didn't Ricochet hold that title?
He did.
Well, he's going to lose it. He's
Shame
going to
on
lose it
him.
tomorrow night, but
And he sent in another $2 super chat. He says, "Better tag team, Chippendale or the American Males?" Aren't they the same thing? One and the same? That's basically what the American Males were. They were like a Chippendale wrestling tag team.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like an actual Chippendale tag team though, like back in the day, like early 90s? Maybe somebody remembers. I thought there was. But anyways, American Males, that theme song is iconic. So I would put them above like most of the tag teams of the 1990s, just on that theme music alone. Let's see. Oh, Seth Rollins sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, "Who fights Ricochet for the IC title belt?" Well, this
I'll take
Friday.
this one. I'll take this one.
Go ahead.
Der Ring General Gunther.
And we can all just hope that there will be a new champion crowned.
I must say, I do like the way WWE has been utilizing Walter so far. So far, pretty good. I think they can build him up possibly to a main event, but never get your hopes up with WWE nowadays. You just got to watch and hope.
Exactly. All right. I think we're caught up with the super chats, Virtue.
Next topic, Jose. Damn Seth Franklin Rollins. Damn him now. Cody obviously tore his pec. Still performed at Hell in a Cell in that match. Didn't have to. So I want everybody's take on that. Obviously, you're going to have surgery, be out for a while. They did the whole angle. He beat Seth all 3 times in the major pay-per-view events, their major matches. Seth came out, shook his hand, yet I saw it coming a mile away, came back out there and ended Cody for now to get heat back. But I don't know what this means for Seth Rollins, but what's going to happen this summer with no Cody Rhodes? And Jose, I mean, Cody was like red hot, almost white hot, and he's now on the shelf. And we're going to be talking about a faction in WWE too that's changed maybe because of this. But right now, let's talk about Cody, Seth, all the stuff that happened because of that gruesome injury. And he did gut it out. He did do a pay-per-view. Probably earned the respect of Vince McMahon and has his spot safely waiting for him when he comes back.
Yeah, let's give Cody his props. He really deserved.
What was that, Aaron? I missed it. What did you point to?
Nobody.
Evo's comment.
The Asuka typo.
Oh yeah, Ashule or whatever. Yeah, but anyway, Jose, speak on this matter.
Yeah, let's give props to Cody Rhodes for going almost 25 minutes out there, Hell in a Cell with a torn pec, partially or fully torn. Does not matter. That shit looked ugly. My bad, Aaron.
Okay.
So I agree with you, Virtue. Like we saw it a mile away. We saw the handshake. The whisper in the ear. We saw it a mile away happening. I was disappointed though because even though we saw it a mile away, I wanted it to be Rollins to go babyface. I wanted Rollins to be the one to give us a fresh face of feuds because, like you said, since Rollins has been there, he's gonna have to feud with somebody at the top. There's really no one in the babyface role right now that has the momentum to keep up with Seth Rollins to really engage there. Cody came back as a megastar, right? That's how we're all seeing it. He's been given his props, wins 3-0, undefeated so far in WWE in his return. But now, who is Rollins going to face? You're right. I think overall, I think Rollins is probably going to go now and take Cody's spot in winning Money in the Bank. And I think he holds on to that until he is ready to cash in on maybe Roman, reignite that feud, and then maybe meet Cody again at WrestleMania for their 4th match. But I really thought I would have rather had Rollins turn babyface after that applause and then just go that way.
Keep Edge heel. I agree.
Yeah. Like Big G, like Cody's going to be out a while. Like, I don't know,
Right.
You know, some athletes, if you're given certain steroids and stuff you can take, you can come back quicker from injuries. But, I mean, we'd be lucky to see him by Royal Rumble. I don't know because I'm not a doctor, but
Right.
just
Well,
say
we know
it's
for sure he's not
it's
Super
indefinite for now, you know.
Cena. Right. Well, we know
what do
for
you
sure
think?
he's not Super Cena. I mean, Cena had a torn pec, and he came back at the Royal Rumble. But
Steroids. Prescribed
Yeah,
ones.
probably.
Prescribed ones, though.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, major props to actually Cody and Seth in that match, you know, for Cody going out there with it pretty much one good arm and then Seth protecting him in that match. And when we were watching Raw and they did the highlights, the wife, she doesn't really watch wrestling, and when they did when Seth did the spots with the kendo stick into the torn pec, and she was just like oohing and ahhing and like, what the heck? And I saw it a mile away. She didn't see it a mile away when Seth Rollins came back out and attacked him with a sledgehammer. But yeah, it's gonna be difficult for the Ross. I mean, we'll segue into that later. But you really don't. We talked about this before we went on the air. You know, they don't really have any major baby faces. I mean, you got Lashley, and then Orton's out right now. I mean, you can push Riddle. They've been pushing Riddle, so I mean, Riddle could be one of their top baby faces if he gets pushed in the right way. So we'll see it's going to be difficult during the summertime. You know, I feel like Vince and all of them were, what's the word I'm thinking of? They were hoping for Cody to be there during the whole summer because, you know, they were pushing. I mean, like you said, you went undefeated 3-0 in 3 big matches with Seth Rollins. So, you know, where do you go from here? So, like I said, I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting summer in the WWE. I would say Raw and SmackDown because with Roman not being there every single week like he was, you know, I feel like Raw is getting a little bit better, and then like SmackDown is kind of without Roman being on SmackDown. I'm just like,
well, Cena's coming back, so hey,
well, yeah. So I mean,
Probably on Raw though.
With Cena being back, you know, Vince knows people will still tune into Raw and SmackDown and get his ratings in and stuff like that. So we'll see. It's going to be a very interesting summer without Cody Rhodes.
Now, son, what shirt you got on there? What match? That was WrestleMania 14, right?
That's right. Stone
Shawn
Cold and
Michaels
Shawn
for
Michaels.
Stone Cold. Not a memorable match in terms of length and spots and whatnot. Memorable as in Austin going over Mike Tyson. And also Shawn Michaels' last match with that severe back injury that put him on the shelf for 4 years. So that's why, to me, that will always be a memorable match, knowing Michaels didn't have to go out there and do that, yet he still did, and he took some crazy Shawn Michaels bumps. Where does this Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell match rank all-time guttiest performances?
Yeah, this is definitely an iconic match. Yeah, it's gonna be right up there. You're gonna remember it. Actually, the way you laid out the topic in the notes just makes me go like, boy, we should have had Jim Ross on commentary to tell, you know, at the end to give like that old over the edge 98, like if Cody Rhodes, by God, is it the toughest SOB to overcome these odds, or you know, he's like, you gotta give respect to Seth Rollins, damn him to hell. Like that would have been awesome to have Jim Ross on commentary for that. But that being said, Hell in a Cell. That main event, much props to Cody Rhodes for toughing it out. I was wondering, you know, obviously Cody's going to go out there. He has the passion for this. I was wondering for a second, Vince McMahon, should he put his foot down and want to protect that investment? But then that's what I had to remind myself is that we're in a whole different era right now. WWE can produce whatever type of television they want, and they're going to make money regardless. That's why when this summer is over, I'm looking forward to these earnings call because they've kept Roman Reigns off TV pretty much for the last several months, and I think it's going to show that, hey, it does not hurt their finances because they're still getting all those big money deals from all those streaming services and network deals. So I don't think this is going to have too much of an effect on WWE financially for the summer. I do wish they didn't do the angle with Seth Rollins just because I wanted it to be over with. Now we have to do this for a fourth time, and I don't know, like, do you have Seth really do the job 4 times, or do you have Cody get that big win? I believe too, from what I'm hearing, 5 to 6 months, that's close to around the Royal Rumble. Maybe you might as well should just have Cody Rhodes come on back and win the Royal Rumble next year, depending on how they're going to do the world title. Obviously, WWE isn't probably sure how they're going to do that whole world title, so we shall see there. It would have been nice to see Seth Rollins maybe go babyface and put him in that role, or at least Bobby Lashley. So we'll see how things go, but I think at the end of the day, nothing is going to really be harmed coming out of this summer with the way WWE's booking. Also, while we're on the topic of Hell in a Cell, much shout out to all 3 women in the triple threat match. I knew it was going to be good, but it exceeded my expectations. Those women absolutely put on a fantastic match, and that's my thoughts on the whole Hell in a Cell and Cody and Seth.
Now, Son, let me remind you, I'm pretty sure Roman's going to be at all these stadium events.
Probably,
There's going to be a SummerSlam, Clash at the Castle, somewhere a Saudi Arabia show, and so that they can say, well, Roman was still part of the biggest events of the year, But
yeah.
I get what you're saying, though, because no matter what, they keep running, the trucks keep going, they keep going, setting up the ring from town to town, no matter who's on the shelf. Yeah. All right, Aaron Rift.
So as several people have mentioned, Cody Rhodes' torn pectoral muscle was already damaged, so there wasn't anything else that could be done worse to that particular injury. Now, of course, with the limited mobility, you run a greater risk of him causing another injury to either himself or Seth Rollins, but everybody agreed to do the match, and he had his surgery, and hopefully he's back 6 months or so. It kind of sucks for the summer. It's a rough summer for both companies. Summer of CM Punk Part 2 looks to be put on hold. Maybe we'll get a little bit of Summer of CM Punk if he comes back later this summer. And Summer of MJF remains up in the air, and now there's pretty much no Summer of Cody Rhodes. I did not think he was going to win Money in the Bank. I think regardless of the injury, I believe Seth Rollins was the odds-on favorite to win it. I feel like Seth Rollins will win it, and then Cody comes back, gets the WWE title, and Cody is going to lose it to Seth Rollins, cashing in the heist of the century Part 2.
It could be the summer of Seth Franklin Rollins, Aaron.
Yeah, Franklin.
Hey, I forgot to give props to Seth Rollins for taking care of Cody in that match too, so that was awesome as well. Yep. He's come a long way since the times that Brett used to complain about him, saying that he was that he will always injure everybody. Well, look at Seth now; he truly's come a long way. There we go.
Franklin has come a long way for sure. Now, we do have some super chats here to get to, so let me get to those real quick. And shout out to Wade Needham over at ringscoops.com. We got to get him on a panel one of these weeks. Get him on the NoDQ review. He's a long-time NoDQ veteran. All right. Jay Hunter sent in a $2 super chat, says that was like Kurt Angle working through that concussion. I don't think they're the same thing. A concussion, I believe, is a lot worse as far as being able to go out there and perform. Like with Cody, it really came down to the pain management. A concussion's a whole different beast. So I don't think that they're the same thing. If somebody has a concussion, the match should 100% be stopped, and they should not be out there doing it. Like when Kurt Angle did that match at SummerSlam 2000, like that was dangerous. Like he should not have been able to continue. And I think that if that had happened in today's era, he would have been out of the match. They would have had to call off whatever plans they had. And he was out of most of that match. I think he just came back out there for the finish, right? Like he wasn't really part of that match for SummerSlam 2000. Let's see here. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat. Nothing about Ricochet this time. He says, is there any babyface from NXT that they could be pushing on the main roster now that Cody is out of action? Or will they just push Orton and McIntyre? I think that They will push Braun Breaker, but I think they're waiting for the right time on that. I feel like Braun Breaker will be called up after the summer, like when they do the draft. But yeah, I don't think they're going to bring anybody else up from that for now. I think they're just going to try to rely on the guys they have now. If more people get hurt, then things could certainly change. Anybody have an opinion on that? Like an NXT guy that could fill that role other than Braun Breaker? Is there anybody really?
I've been
If you
too out
turn
of the
on
loop on
face-
NXT 2.0.
If you turn him babyface, I'm gonna put the rocket on Carmelo Hayes. He might be smaller, but damn, he gets the crowd's attention for sure.
Yeah, and he's another guy that I think they'll probably hold off on. I mean, they have those guys in case of fire, break the glass. You got those guys, but I don't think that's going to happen. And keep in mind, like they could always bring back Bray Wyatt if they agree on financial terms. Like they could always bring him back if they need a top star to fill the void.
Let's just hope it's not Goldberg.
No, well, could be Goldberg. You never know. And Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank. Cody wins briefcase of him. Roman defends title in the Rumble match. Cody versus Roman at Mania. Main event, Cody wins. What do you guys think about that idea?
Disagree.
I mean, if I knew the dream match of Roman and The Rock wasn't a 10% possibility, then I would be like, hey, why not?
Though
Timing
I
perfect.
actually will like to see for Survivor Series them do a rematch with Seth and Roman, and it'd be really cool once again if Tony and Vince could work together, bring in John Moxley as Dean Ambrose as a referee in celebration of their 10-year anniversary. The Survivor Series marks 10 years for all three of those guys, so that would
You
be
say
cool to see.
Vince worked with Tony Khan together?
Yeah, it would be cool to see if they could. I mean it in a sense like, hey, bring in a deal like, can we borrow John Moxley just to bring him in as Dean Ambrose? But I know it's not going to happen, but yeah.
Dude, it
I
took
would
them
see
to
it there.
even like have anything TNA or Impact for
many
Impact to
years.
be a way big shell of its former self for that to have, that finally happened with Mickey James. It might have
Oh,
happened. Was that the first time that ever happened with
With
WWE?
TNA, no,
Aaron? The Mickey James
Oh,
thing? Because she was their champion, wasn't she, when she did that?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
mean in ring,
but-
yes.
But yeah. Sorry, son.
Yeah,
I disagree with that.
no, it's all good. It's just I want to see something cool for their 10-year anniversary. That's all.
All right, we got some more super chats. Let's see if there's any regarding this topic, and then we'll move on. Okay, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says the gutsiest performance will always be Mankind inside Hell in a Cell. I agree with that. Like what Cody did was insane. Definitely up there among gutsy performances. But yeah, Mankind, I think will keep that record for being the absolute craziest as far as going out there and continuing to perform after being tossed off the cell. Like that was something that can never be duplicated.
If Sid would have wrestled after he snapped his leg, that would have definitely topped Mankind.
Yeah, I mean, if Mankind broke his leg, I don't know if he could have pulled off what he did.
That was a joke. That was a compound fracture. There was no continuing that.
Right. Well, yeah. I don't care who it is. That happens to you. You're not finishing the match. Jay Hunter sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Virtue, why the Christmas shirt in June?
Wow. Do you not know what this is? It's the best Christmas movie of all time. It's Cousin Eddie. The shitter was full. Doesn't matter what. It could be October. It could be July. It doesn't matter. It's all year round when you're talking about Cousin Eddie.
I still like the original the best, the original National Lampoon's Vacation, but that's just me. I do like Christmas Vacation.
Cousin Eddie was in that one too.
Yep, he was. He steals the show in all of them. He's always doing a great job. All right, let's get back to wrestling here before we bore everybody to tears with our vacation talk. Teaching in Color X with a $2 super chat says, who will have the best summer of 2022? Miro FTR for me. Anybody want to touch this one? Like any bold predictions?
I think Riddle.
The year?
I think Matt Riddle is going to have one hell of a summer, and he doesn't even have to. He just keep rising. slow. You know what I mean? Everybody always said, don't push a guy so quick to the main event. Let him just kind of organically get there, do a bunch of this and a bunch of that. Hasn't Riddle done that pretty much? Mm-hmm. Right? So let this be the rise of Riddle to at least to be relevant in the main event scene. He doesn't have to be a main player yet, but if he can grow to where, hey, man, this guy could be something. And again, I know that stoner gimmick, the Louis Piccoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I know that holds it back a little bit, but I'm telling you, that's my bold prediction, and I said that 2 years ago. I'm sticking with.
I'm gonna go with Austin Theory.
Oh yeah, because he's got what looks to be a match with John Cena.
Yep. I'm gonna go with him.
With that.
I agree with Riddle, and I was gonna say too. They've been actually sort of trying to make him a lot more serious lately in his promo, so that is showing some good potential. Austin Theory as well, good. I also want to say maybe Jade Cargill, because in AEW, I think consistently they are doing a great job of building her up slowly, and I love now that they've got the appropriate manager with her. I had a good use. What's his new name again? What is his new name? Stokely, yeah, because I remember his NXT, but yeah, he with Jade Cargill, I think there's a nice build up there they can do. So yeah,
and even Alexa Bliss is commenting on Jade Cargill's tweets now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Let's see.
They might have something too, if it's true. I'm hearing about Alexa and Liv Morgan might be a tag team. That could be pretty cool. But the fact that WWE hasn't gone ahead and I think they canceled out the tag matches kind of proves what Sasha and Naomi were doing. Not saying I agree with them walking out, but that kind of proved their point about WWE. And I think all of us always knew it the way WWE books the tag titles there.
I could see Riddle having a pretty good year. I just wish that I wish he had the match at Money in the Bank with Roman Reigns. Like I'm kind of frustrated that they're not putting that on the pay-per-view. What do you think?
Really use that rub.
Yeah, like that should be on a pay-per-view. Let Riddle have a pay-per-view main event with Roman Reigns. What do you think, Virtue? Or do you think
back,
it's fine?
By the way, my screen froze. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, did you hear what I said?
No, I'm back. My internet went down and I had to go to the hotspot on my phone. What's up?
Oh. So my question to you is regarding Riddle. Like I would like to see that match on the pay-per-view as the main event, but apparently Reigns is not doing Money in the Bank. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
No, it should be. I wish it was. And it's weird because remember Money in the Bank was supposed to be in a stadium. Now it's not, and they're not going to treat it as such. So that should happen. I'd love to see that, right? And I didn't know we could talk about AEW people too. It could be the summer of Wardlow for all we know. Like you don't have to necessarily get the title. Just know that you're getting up there in that realm. Yeah. So I want to shout out Wardlow as well.
Wardlow, Miro's probably going to be the first All-Atlantic champion. If I had to make a prediction, he seems like the best fit for that. Could be a good year for him. Seth Rollins sent in a $2 super chat, says, now is the time to bring back Ryback, Vince.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
I would say there's about a 0.0001% chance that Ryback comes back to WWE.
It's going to be a lot of making up talk for them to get on good terms again.
We're close to the main event time, Aaron.
Yeah, we got a couple more here. Building Nexus sent in $5. Thank you for that. Says, actually, if all these reports are true, then Riddle might win Money in the Bank, get a TV match with Roman before the Tribal Chief fights Randy Orton at SummerSlam. That could happen, but I'm not a fan of somebody winning the briefcase and then cashing it in right away. Like I want to see the storyline where somebody holds it for a while and teases it and waits instead of just cashing it in. That's why I think it's going to be Seth Rollins, because he'll win it, hold on to it until Cody comes back. Maybe he'll tease it a little bit, but then he'll cash it in on Cody. And, Roman Reigns versus The Rock, they do not need the title. They can just have the match, Cody and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 1 year later for the WWE title, 1 year from when it all started. And they could wrap up the feud once and for all at WrestleMania. Let's see. I think we're caught up. Caleb Jacobs sent in a a $2.11 super chat. So I guess we'll read this off when we get into the main event topic here. So Virtue, you want to go ahead and lead us off?
So yeah, on Raw, Finn Balor comes out. You have Edge in the ring, Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and let's get Finn Balor to join our faction. Let's build Judgment Day up. And I was thinking, okay, Finn Balor's going to come out, make it look like he's going to, but not join them, and everything will stay kind of status quo. Well, he agreed to be part of them, and then they turned on Edge and kicked Edge out. Edge got the haircut change. So what exactly happened? Like, you hear rumors, was it creative differences? Does Vince McMahon want Judgment Day to be supernatural and Edge didn't want that? Let's see. Or is it something to do with Cody Rhodes, the big top baby face, being out for the summer, and Edge, old reliable, maybe putting him back as a baby face can be a Band-Aid? But the thing is with that, with all the stuff he's done with Judgment Day, he's got to explain himself. So, gentlemen, Jose, what happened here? Like, sure, it might have been planned. I always thought, like, if they were going to do something like that with Judgment Day, you have Finn join, and remember how The Rock kind of did it with Farouk and the Nation of Domination, and it just implodes down the road. I didn't expect this so soon. So what's your take on Edge getting booted out so soon from his group?
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected a 9-week leadership role for Edge. I think they expected a long-term planning for this. I said it last week during the predictions video. I said, I think Judgment Day needs to win. They need to stay strong. They look good. This whole thing just smells panic. It's just panic mode. Cody got hurt. We need someone that is a top babyface, a guy that we know is established, who's been on a hot streak, winning matches, even though he's not in the world title picture. I mean, just not forget, since what? Crown Jewel, whatever it was, the Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins. Edge hasn't lost a match since. Beating The Miz multiple times, beating AJ Styles multiple times, and now this. It's unfortunate because I think Edge was committed to it. I don't think this whole supernatural thing was an issue for him because, one, he came in with the Brood. He's been doing the Brood entrance multiple times throughout his feuds recently. I don't think he would have had any issues with that. Plus, supernatural gimmick also gives him time to be away since he's also a part-timer. He's not a full-timer, so that could have given easily time to be away. This just smells panic. And it's unfortunate because I think adding Finn Balor would have been awesome. I just think it would have been better on a turn on AJ and Liv or something like that rather than what they gave us. Like I said earlier, I think Rollins should have been the one that got on face. Edge, unfortunately, is just the one that's going to pick up the slack. And, I mean, it is what it is. It's just I'm not a fan of what they did.
Fair
Big
enough.
G, you always have good takes. You always have good takes with stuff like this here. Well, you're licking your chops.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming whatsoever. I mean, we knew that Cody was hurt, and we probably were all thinking, like, who's going to be their next top baby face that can take Cody's spot? And, we all kind of Edge teased it over the weeks who's going to possibly joining the Judgment Day. He mentioned Finn Balor at one point. And, Judgment Day won at Hell in a Cell. And I was like, okay, that is what it is. It's a new faction. They need to keep the momentum going and whatnot. So I was like, okay, Judgment Day winning. Cool. And which was nice. What also nice was that nobody came in during the match and interfered like Rhea did and Damian did, when they joined. And I was like, okay, so they announced it on Raw that, somebody's going to join Judgment Day, and it's Finn Balor. And I was like, okay, this is Finn Balor's first official heel run on the main roster. We've seen him do a heel run on NXT. And so this is going to be, like, totally weird. So I was watching a video on TikTok, and this guy was explaining, like, a scenario saying they kicked out Edge. Because if you think about it, all three of them were with the Black and Gold NXT, and they could still bring in a couple people, but it'll be NXT people like Ciampa, for example, or even Kevin Owens after he's done with his Ezekiel crap. And they could have, how Vince was like behind the whole ministry corporation and stuff like that, they could have Triple H come in and say that he was the leader, the leader or godfather of this, and trying to take over the W. Oh my God, Joker, you're so freaking heavy. Oh my God,
That's no joke.
I see where you're going with this, Big G.
So because there's a bunch of people that I follow on TikTok that are wrestling fans, and they do different scenarios like that, and I was like, well, that's not a bad take. So, but yeah, with Cody being out, they needed a top baby face. So Edge is their next guy. Yeah, he might be a part-timer. He'll be out for a couple weeks with this storyline. I'm sure he'll come back for Money in the Bank or SummerSlam and feud with Finn Balor. So, we'll see where it goes here. Hopefully they don't drop the ball with the Judgment Day. So, because I liked the Judgment Day as a group, but, now we'll get to see Finn Balor as that, I guess, quote unquote, one of the top heels on the Raw side. So,
all right, Son, what do you think here?
All right, so it definitely was shocking, and it's very rare that I get shocked by things on WWE, so in a sense, that's cool. But honestly, man, I was really enjoying Edge reinventing himself. I love the new music, the other side. I love that he changed his look. It was cool to see that Edge has evolved, and right when it's gone, it just cut it off. So now I feel like this Judgment Day Edge gimmick is going to join Hollywood Rock and what I always like to call the evil Captain Planet, Bryan Danielson gimmicks, as really good heel gimmicks that were gone way too soon. So I guess if he's going back to a baby face, it's like, man, why? We need some more time. And even when you have the commentators talking about how basically they're calling out the logic holes in this, like Rhea and Damian were on the winning side. Edge wasn't. How was he holding them back? Like, it just didn't make any sense. This definitely screams hotshot booking. And you had Bobby Lashley. The crowd is way behind him. You could have gone ahead with Seth Rollins as your top baby face and keep this going. And now, microphone wise, who's gonna lead the group? And though all three of them are okay on the mic, but as far as like being Edge's level on the mic, I don't think we're gonna get that. So it's like, who's gonna carry the group? If they want to do something new, maybe make Rhea the leader of the group. We've never seen like a woman basically be the leader of a whole like faction basically where the guys are in there, so that's something cool. But in order for that to work, you really got to get behind her as the women's championship. Speaking of things being rushed, I don't like that they're going to do Bianca versus Rhea right now for Money in the Bank. I rather saw that at SummerSlam. My whole idea would have been to see Rhea and I like that she's being more aggressive in the ring, just have her destroy these women, and then you have Bianca constantly ranking up her big wins, and then you have it collided where you have now the next generation of the women from NXT finally in that main event spot, and then maybe we could think about, hey, have Bianca drop the title to Rhea there because she's been built up. But I guess they want to go with Becky Lynch versus Bianca, which I feel like the match has been done. They told the story. Why go there? So I'm not going to give it the X right now. Often I say it's hard to give WWE the benefit of the doubt nowadays with the way they book things. I'll see what happens. You can add some more people. We'll see what is going, but I just do think this was way too soon. And that's my take on it.
With that said, any possibility, and this is giving WWE Creative too much credit, any possibility this is a swerve to Swerve, and Edge is still the mastermind, and there's going to be something at a big event or something, and he's going to be there all uncloaked himself, and they're all going to be laughing together. I mean, I got to throw it out there.
I'm not going to lie. I hope that's true. This is one time it's not going to make logical sense, but you know what? Nice. Yeah, I hope they realize that, this is a mistake. Let's keep Edge as a champion, because at first when they did this, I'm thinking maybe because we know Edge works limited dates. Maybe this is their way you're going to write him off and he can come back, but I was like, why not just say, I'm going to leave for a while and let you three do your own thing, and then I'll come back when I'm needed. But yeah, I would absolutely love that, just because hopefully they realize, we need to keep Edge as this new gimmick and everything.
And then Edge could have that look on his face, and they're all laughing and smiling like, we fooled you fans. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's a kind of like that's the way my mind works. Aaron, take it away.
I unfortunately don't think that that's going to happen. It's pretty clear to me it's a babyface turn for Edge to fill the void for Cody Rhodes being injured. It really did feel like something that they came up with at the very last minute. Maybe Finn Balor was something that was in the works, but Edge being attacked. Like, that sucks. Can we not have a faction with more than 3 people in WWE? I feel like there's a rule. You can only have 3 people in a group, which makes me feel like we're not going to get Ciampa in the group. And he just goes out there and randomly attacks people now. What about Ciampa in the group? Maybe turn another woman heel and have her join the group. Have 2 female members and 2 male members. I just hope that they'll do something. I am concerned, like everybody else, that without Edge, this group is going to quickly fizzle out and be put on the back burner, I should say. I would like to see Rhea Ripley win the title. I agree with Sun that I was expecting it for SummerSlam, and I'm still hoping it's SummerSlam. It could be. Maybe they do a scenario where it's a DQ or count out at the pay-per-view, and then they set up a rematch. I mean, I'm just thinking how WWE operates. They might do a rematch at SummerSlam and Rhea gets the title then. If Rhea doesn't get the title, like, I feel that this faction is really not being given the priority. Bianca's a solid champion. She's been doing great, but I also think that she's better sometimes being on the chase for the title rather than being the champion. So I would like to see Rhea get the title, and then Bianca's got to try to get herself back into contendership. So I will wait and see how this plays out. Maybe Edge as a face will work out, but again, what's his music going to be? Is he going to go back to his old music? Does Judgment Day keep the new Alter Bridge song? Like, it's so weird to me how they're going to try to figure this all out, but we'll see. We got a couple of super chats here. Let's see. Psychojet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, are there any heels that can be top faces on Raw? And maybe he's meaning somebody else other than Edge. Like, who else could have stepped into Cody's role as a top face?
Rollins.
I'm not sure.
But they didn't do that. You know, Rollins, KO, those are guys that you could.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin Owens has still got this thing going on, and he's doing such a great job as a heel. But I do agree with what Jose said earlier about Rollins. Like, I feel like Rollins as a heel is just kind of run its course now, and people have been humming the song every time he comes out there now. And I just feel like he should have just turned face on Raw and build him back up as the top face since he's doing all the house shows. Edge is a part-timer. I think it would have made more sense for Rollins to go babyface.
I mean, I think Balor, joining the group and then them betraying Edge was a plan all along, but like 5-6 months from now, not right now. Not to give WWE Creative 6 months planning, but I think that's what they were aiming for. They did not need to hit the panic button. That's just simple as that. You could have built up AJ Styles still with this feud and make him even more, as a damsel in distress babyface, just because now he has to go against his former friend and now guys he looked up to and stuff like that. You could have done more with AJ in this, and now you're gonna put up Edge and AJ as a team possibly.
Are we supposed to believe them as friends after all that stuff now?
Right.
Yeah. Remember, we got Bobby Lashley lurking around there too as a baby face.
This just would have made so much more sense several months down the line, where maybe Damian was the U.S. champion, Rhea's the women's champion, Balor or has got another title, and then they looking like, where's your title? And you failed again against Roman. We're gonna kick you out. See, it just makes more sense, just organically telling that story, just not hot-shotting it right away.
Yep.
And it's not mysterious also for them to just send someone from SmackDown to Raw. They've done it plenty of times going back and forth without the draft. Just do that. Send someone you're not really using.
Is there somebody over there to send though?
I mean, outside of Drew, nah. But still, you could try something. You didn't have to do Edge. That's the only thing.
We all caught up, Aaron?
Well, almost. And Edge was like pretty much the top heel on Raw, and now who's the top heel other than Rollins, I guess? Franklin.
They booked themselves into a corner.
Well, Psycho Jet Black has a little bit of positivity here. He sent in $2 and says, at least Judgment Day is more over than Retribution.
I was going to say that earlier. Yeah.
For now.
It could become like Retribution.
Because the leader actually matters.
Yeah. Nathan Banks sent in a $5 super chat, says, I read a rumor somewhere on Fightful that Judgment Day may be a supernatural group, which makes sense due to Finn joining the group. Your thoughts?
No.
I mean, I thought they were already kind of
dude, like if I see anything, I could see Finn Balor cutting a promo and saying, you want the demon, however he talks in his Irish accent, and then get the crowd hyped up. Well, you're never going to get him again because this is the demon. And he just points to regular self with a sadistic look. Rhea laughs over here. Damien laughs over there. That's what I can see.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were already kind of doing the supernatural stuff, like with Damian Priest when he was like freaking out in the ring and his eyes were getting all distorted and whatnot.
Yeah.
But maybe they're going to take it a step further.
Yeah, I thought Edge was on his way to just creating this whole image where we're going to see his version of the Ministry of Darkness. Would have been cool. We haven't seen something like that.
Okay. So like that, I don't buy that creative difference bull crap at all. People are spewing. No.
And Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat, says, so if it's supernatural, does Demon Balor lead it?
This doesn't make sense. People are going to cheer that. And WWE knows that.
Right.
I still haven't gotten over how they killed the demon off in that match with Roman. All you had to do was just cut the ropes, and there goes his powers.
That's why Finn, if anything, will say, you're never going to get it again because this is the real demon, and we're here, and that stuff's not going to happen again, blah, blah, blah. I can't see anything else happen from that, but we'll see.
Psycho Jet Black sent in another $5 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, do you think they're keeping Seth Rollins heel because of how his babyface run ended with that awful Hell in a Cell match? People starting booing him.
I was kind of thinking about that, yeah. Because
Ray's gone, that's gone. They don't even think about that anymore.
I do wonder if he kind of does wonder, like, you know what, no purpose going back because they're going to just end up booing me. So I'll just give them a reason to constantly boo me. But now he's got everybody's respect back, so who knows?
I think he was getting cheered a lot over the past couple months. And
I do wish they end this Becky Lynch, not her being heel, but just this way the character. I don't mind her being heel, but have her be serious because that promo she cut at WrestleMania, or close to WrestleMania on Bianca, where she was still a heel, but she was like menacing, just really like menacing talking. I'm like, that's fine, that's cool, but I feel like her doing this over the top stuff is just not working for me.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I'm not a fan. So yeah, I think we're caught up now. Virtue, if anybody wants to add anything, otherwise we can wait a minute. Seth Rollins sent in a $2 super chat. Says, does Edge start a new faction with a surprise Bray Wyatt? Probably not. I mean, never say never. Again. Never say never as far as Wyatt coming back, but. I don't think it'll be in that particular scenario.
Wait, what are we going to call him? Seth Franklin Rollins.
Franklin.
That's what we'll call him.
Franklin. Seth.
All right. Well, looks like we're caught up, but we know how this goes. We'll go around and do our plugs. Maybe we'll get out of here. Hopefully, maybe not. So, Jose, great having you on the show, making your debut here on the review. Anything you'd like to say? Plugs, go.
Yeah, guys. So. I know some people are commenting on that earlier because, whatever. But that's from my podcast. It's called Puro Pinche Sports. Just chit-chat with my boys, just talking about sports or whatever. You can find us on Twitter at Pinche Sports Pod, Instagram, Puro Pinche Sports. Guys, I appreciate y'all bringing me on today. Been a fan, like I told Aaron, I've been a fan since 2007, so just happy to be here. Oh, sorry, Big G. Copy infringement. Sorry.
Don't step on his toes. But
Big G is happy. Big G's happy someone did what he does. Big G, go ahead. It's your turn.
Yep. As always, I'm always happy to be here. You can follow me at NoDQ.com/BigBallerG. That'll take you to my Twitter page. If you have TikTok, if you don't have TikTok, you can follow me there at BigBallerG1988.
All right. Over to Sun.
All right, so you guys can follow my acting and filmmaking journey on my YouTube. So there, I'm creating an anime short film, as you can see right there on the screen. It's basically like real-life anime, but live action. Basically wrote, direct, and did the story, and act in it, as well as doing all the editing. Been working on it for 9 years now. It takes a lot as a one-man editing crew, but I will see the project through to the end. You can see the trailer and all the behind-the-scenes stuff that I have on there. Also, mini voice acting. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, I do voice acting for a lot of Dragon Ball fan dubs, parodies, and as well as discussions and podcasts. I do the reviews for WWE's 4 big main shows, so you can catch all that on my YouTube, and you can follow me on social media platform, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So many to keep track of, but all my main work is on YouTube, and that's there. You see it on the screen, SONGOSHUAKU, everywhere you go. And as always, it's a pleasure to be on here and talk wrestling with all you gentlemen. NoDQ, keep on doing it. Like I said, Aaron, these recaps do a great job of just like keeping me up to date when I don't have time to watch all the wrestling. So you all keep doing what you're doing here, and everyone support NoDQ. As Aaron always says, say yes to NoDQ.
Good having you on. And we are less than 10 episodes away from the historic episode 200, where you, the NoDQ Galaxy, will be the moderator of the show, and you will be telling me and the rest of the crew what topics to talk about for the entire show via Super Chat. Just wanted to get that out there. Over to you, Aaron.
All right, well, we do have a few left, so I guess we're in NoDQ After Dark now. I have to make a shirt for that at some point. NoDQ After Dark. I guess we're going to talk about random stuff, go off the rails here for a few minutes before we sign off. I guess if we're going to start going off the rails, let me get this out of the way right now. Robbie is coming, ladies and gentlemen. He will be here soon. It's a new and I believe improved Robbie. Time will tell on that one, though. He is coming. All right. Okay. Let's get to these After Dark Super Chats. Okay, this I'm just gonna bow out on this one. It's directed at Jose anyways. So Psycho Jet Black sent in $2, says, what's the best and worst football team?
Best team, give it to the Rams. They're champions right now. You gotta give them respect for it. Worst team, the Lions. I mean, I'm sorry. Detroit.
Wait a minute.
Even over Jackson? I say Jackson.
Oh yeah. They're trying, they're the clown show of the league, because Khans lead that team, but that's a different story.
I'm going to assume everybody on NoDQ would agree. Aaron and I would make the worst sports commentary team because I don't think we both would know crap about anything.
You know what? Just for that, son, I want you and Aaron on one of my podcasts one day, just talking about sports. I want your best.
That guy, he was cool how he catch that ball. He looked like he's been working real hard at that, I assumed.
That would be the worst sports podcast of all time by a landslide.
Challenge accepted.
Let's see. We got a $2 super chat from Ring Scoops, Wayne Needham. We got to get him on the NoDQ review coming up pretty soon. He says, I just want to say the Iron Sheik is the best. Love the Iron Sheik, man. When he went on the Howard Stern show, if you guys haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube, Iron Sheik Howard Stern. There's one thing where one segment where the Macho Man, an imposter, is on there, and the Iron Sheik is just completely going out of his mind. Check that out. Like it's great comedy. Absolutely awesome stuff.
I really wish they still would have paid tribute to him. If they could have been able to fly him out safely and everything to WrestleMania this year, just to point to the heavens at Bobby Heenan to acknowledge what he said about Iron Sheik finally gets to the ring at WrestleMania 38. Man, they missed that opportunity.
They did. I'm very bummed out, but maybe Iron Sheik legitimately can't even get to the building, let alone walk to the ring or be.
I heard that's why he won the Gimmicks Battle Royal WrestleMania 17 is because they said he couldn't physically go over the ring, so they had everybody else go over.
Yep, that was the story. Ring Scoop said, remember what Sheiky Baby said about Hogan on my show in 2003? Yeah, he called Hogan a Hollywood blonde F word, and I'm not going to say it, but yeah, it wasn't jabroni, it was the F word. A certain slur that he used about Hulk Hogan. Psycho Jet Black, now we kind of touched on this. I guess this this could mean any National Lampoon movie, but we were talking about the Vacation movie specifically. I mean, I love that National Lampoon's Vacation, the Six Flags Magic Mountain theme park, John Candy, like that's great stuff there. And, Cousin Eddie, of course. I do love the Christmas movie too. Virtue, Christmas movie's your favorite?
Yeah. Keep it simple. Something about it. Holidays, they're all good, but Christmas is my favorite.
I like Vegas Vacation too. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I do like that.
I feel like this one's very underrated. European Vacation. I don't know. That's just me. I like European Vacation.
Are there any of the non-vacations that you like?
Oh my god, what is the one with
Van Wilder National Lampoon?
Yeah, Van Wilder. What am I thinking? The one from the 70s with Jim Belushi.
Oh boy.
The one from 78.
What's Tito trying to do here? He sent in $2. He says, thoughts on the January 6th hearings?
I don't care about them. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Nice try, Tito. We're not taking the bait on that one. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, worst injury, Vince McMahon's quad tear, whatever the hell it was.
Sid.
Oh, animal
fracture
house.
all day
That's
long.
what it is.
The worst.
Sid.
Yuck. Ugh.
He saw his bones, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sid's was the most brutal. Vince was almost comical, like how that played out.
It's like he got just shot in the legs,
Anyway.
I think Vince was so full of the adrenaline, he probably didn't recognize until he got behind the curtain to oh crap, my quads. But yeah, Sid that was brutal. That's why it was awesome to see him be able to walk out so many years later on in 2012, that was the 1,000 episode.
He beat up Heath Slater.
Yeah, like that was cool to see him be able to do that in a match again. Like, man.
Let's see. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, son, your thoughts on the new Dragon Ball Z movie?
Dragon Ball superhero. Yeah, I am looking forward to it. The CGI is cleaned up really nicely. As much as the fighting in Dragon Ball is fantastic, I always love the characters and the moments and interacting and knowing that this is going to have that more lighthearted side with Gohan and his daughter Pan. I'm looking forward to it. I already know who the main villain's going to be at the end. So overall, yeah, I'm looking forward. It's going to be a fun time. Don't know if it'll be as good as Broly, but I'm looking forward. It should be a really good time.
Mr. Tito sent in another $2 super chat. Says, was Crystal Clear Pepsi a good idea or not? I actually liked it. I'm sad they didn't.
Was that the 80s, Aaron?
Might have been early 90s.
It was a better idea.
Early 90s, I think.
It was a better idea than New Coke.
I agree with that. Although, funny enough, I did like New Coke. I know people hated it.
I can't remember it. I would have been 5.
I don't remember that.
I remember New Coke. I was very young, but I liked New Coke.
Yeah, I do not remember that.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Big G, how to rank the Undisputed Elite members?
Oh, Jesus.
Do you even know who they all are?
All 5 of them, Big G. You got this.
Let's see. I don't know. Man, I'll have to think about that. Let's see. I would go. Let's see, because you got Cole. All right, so Cole. I would go with Adam Cole, then the Young Bucks, then Kyle O'Reilly, and then Bobby Fish.
All right. Sounds like what most people would probably go with.
And then way at the bottom is the cameraman, Brandon Cutler.
Well, you were nice enough to include him, period. So I guess that's.
I wouldn't even have mentioned them.
I feel bad for the guy. He's got.
Big G froze. I think on that note, Virtue, we should go ahead and wrap this one up. And thank you again, Jose, for being on. We much appreciate it. And Son, pleasure as always. And Big G, always happy to be here. NoDQ.com will keep you updated on the very latest. Subscribe, tell a friend, spread the word, all that good stuff. Virtue, go ahead, wrap it up.
Go to NoDQ.com/merch and get some cool shirts. Get the Virtue I'm sorry shirt. That's one way you can get an apology from me. And I think some of my retro stuff is over on the Pro Wrestling Tees No DQ thing, as Aaron didn't transfer everything all over. But still, nonetheless, you know how to get there. Be sure to follow me on Twitter if you dare at NoDQ_virtue. That is it for this edition of the NoDQ review number 191. We are counting down to episode number 200 coming this summer. And maybe Robbie will be here by then. Maybe he won't. Who knows? Shout out to Colin. Shout out to Walter Cruz and the whole NoDQ crew. Thanks, Jose, for being on tonight. Big G, thanks for being here. Son and Aaron, I'm Virtue, and we will see you again next time.